is Friday, April 18th, coming at you from Chilton Studio at the University of North Texas. We have plenty to talk about. Let's get into business as usual. Good afternoon, I'm Evanson Franklove. The IRS Direct File Tax Program is coming to an end. The Trump administration announced they are shutting the program down, which allows users to directly file to their agencies for no charge. The program was developed during the Biden administration and has been credited by users to being easy and reliable to use. Republican lawmakers and commercial tax preparation companies have been the main critics of the file program, saying it's a waste of taxpayers' money and didn't see enough usage. The business Temu and Shein are raising prices in response to the tariffs. Both companies released identical statements claiming they will raise prices starting April 25th. As there aren't specific numbers yet, consumers are left wondering about the full details. Temu and Shein are known for extremely low prices advertised online through ads and influencer marketing. These efforts worked for some time. Millions of parcels arrive every day in the United States from these companies. The 145% increase in import taxes and these new policies could change that. The instability in the markets is affecting nearly every sector, as we've been seeing with the stock market. Google is under fire for the second time this year for creating an abusive monopoly against its competition. The online search engine giant has been found liable for monopolizing two markets of online advertising technology. U.S. District Judge Leonie Brinkema from Virginia said Google is willingly acquiring and maintaining power over its competitors in markets for published ad servers and the market for ad exchanges between buyers and sellers. The findings paved the way to determine how Google will be able to restore the competitive market and sell off parts of their business as well. Google is planning on appealing the decision and is expected to argue against this for years to come. All things considered, the stock market has been unpredictable all week. The market is closed today for Good Friday. The S&P 500 only rose 0.1% on the week, even though 75% of stocks saw a gain. On the other hand, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 1.3%. United Health Group saw a decline of 22.4%, which is more than a fifth of its value, the worst drop it's experienced in decades. The leader of the week, Eli Lilly, jumped 14.3% after the drug maker reported promising new results of a daily pill that could help treat obesity and diabetes. So with all that in mind, it's been an eventful week in the economy. Let's toss it over to Seth Wickman, who of course is in the studio with someone who can give us a better perspective on things.
Thank you, Evanson. I am joined here once again by Dr. Mark Evers. Always good to see you. How are you doing today, sir?
Great. Good to see you again, Seth.
Yes, sir. So we've had an interesting week, to say the least. I mean, a lot of things have been going on, but what I wanted to ask you about was these conversations between the Trump administration and the Fed. Obviously, Trump wants the Fed to lower interest rates, and the Fed is a little hesitant to do so and doesn't really want to do that. Could you kind of explain both sides of the issue to me and how this is affecting the market?
Yeah, Seth. Basically, the Federal Reserve has two major mandates. One is to control inflation, and the other is to control unemployment, to keep unemployment low. And overall, their goal for inflation is to keep it around 2%. And they've done a great job in getting us back down to that number. I think the last number that came out this week was 2.3% or 2.4%. So we're getting closer to that 2% mark instead of the 8+% that we were seeing a couple of years ago. So they've managed to rein in inflation. And that's still the big thing that's on the minds of the Federal Reserve, is like keeping that inflation in check. Well, here come the tariffs, right? And we've talked about this before, how tariffs create uncertainty. They can actually be inflationary. Jerome Powell's response to that was basically like, well, the Fed is not, we're going to wait and see what's going to happen with these tariffs to see if that produces more inflation, because that's what they've been focused on fighting. Well, this creates an issue. And what happens if we go into a recession, right? What happens if our economy, which has been slowing down, goes into a full-blown recession and unemployment starts to go up? Well, that creates a problem. It creates a conflict with the Fed because now their mechanism to help unemployment is to stimulate the economy. And the way they stimulate the economy is to cut rates, do that kind of stuff that encourages borrowing, encourages spending. Well, if you encourage spending and borrowing, that causes inflation to go up. So now they're caught in this paradigm. On one end, they're trying to rein inflation in. On the other end, they might have an unemployment issue show up. And this would cause what we call stagflation, where we could be in a recessionary environment where the job unemployment goes up and we have inflation at the same time. This is what we saw in the late 70s, and the Fed is super scared of that.
Right.
They don't want to repeat what happened in the 70s. None of us were around back then, but it wasn't good. My parents tell stories about buying a house where the interest rate on the house was like 16% or 15%.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what the Fed ended up having to do in the early 80s was increase interest rates over 10% to bring inflation down from the late 70s. And that was very painful, and nobody wants to relive that.
Right.
So it's interesting because Trump, we got these tariffs going, and hopefully maybe that'll play out in the long run, right? That'll be beneficial, but at the same time, it's creating a situation where the Fed, hey, they could be boxed in. They don't know what to do.
Right.
So, and now we're seeing, I saw an article this morning where Trump's considering whether or not to fire Jerome Powell over this whole situation. So that'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. But what I see from the Federal Reserve Board itself in the votes, we follow what's called the dot plot chart.
Right.
And that kind of gives us an idea of where all the Federal Reserve governors see interest rates going. 6 months ago, they were predicting potentially 4 rate cuts this year. And that's been pared down to 2.
Yeah.
And now with all this stuff going on with tariffs, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if we don't have any rate cuts this year.
Wow.
And the market itself doesn't like that because they want stimulus, right?
Absolutely.
The market again, it's forward looking, so they want, money. So
Yeah.
And keeping rates high, it keeps the economy from being stimulated, right? We're trying to slow the economy down. So hopefully we don't go into recession. We'll see.
Yes. But all right, let's put that aside, what's going on today. Let's put that aside for now.
Sure.
And I want to talk to you about, keeping what we just talked about in mind, the importance of financial literacy, and basically, especially for young people like me, what does it mean? How important is it? And maybe students on campus here, what kind of resources do they have to make sure that they can be financially literate?
Yeah, April is actually Financial Literacy Month, so I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yeah.
But on campus, financial literacy is really 2 things. It's the knowledge on what to do and how to do things, and it's actually doing it. It's taking action, right? It's knowing what to do and then how to do it, and actually executing it. So on campus, we've got multiple resources. We've got our Student Money Management Center. This is an organization that provides one-on-one, peer-to-peer financial coaching to students by students. So students can go to the Student Money Management Center website on UNT and schedule an appointment, and they're great. It's one-on-one help. You can get help with budgeting, student loan stuff, and just general help, right? And then from a total university standpoint, we actually have a course that we've launched. It's called FIPL 2770. It's called Show Me the Money: Lessons in Money Education.
All right.
And in that class, we help students learn the basics of finance, personal finance. So we talk about things like how to buy a house, how to buy a car. Our big project for the semester is students setting up their own personal budget. So we walk them through that process. They have to learn how to track expenses and track their income, and then they build their own budget. And that's the signature project that we use because the course is a core class. So it's a part of the university core. So any major can use it in their degree. And then we also play a game, Seth, because I know a lot of students don't actually get the same amount of money they would as an adult. We have a game. Every week students get paid a salary. They've got to pay their bills. They have to buy a house and a car in the game or rent an apartment.
Wow.
They have to buy health insurance. And during the semester, we have these life happens cards, and we spin them in class, and it could be like, hey, you won, you went to the WinStar and won $300 for the week. Congratulations, it gets credited to your account. Or it could be like, oh no, you had a car accident, or whatever, right? Or you lost money doing something.
It's like the game of life.
It's like the game of life. It's kind of like Monopoly or something, the chance cards.
Exactly.
And so we spin those in class, and students really get into it. And then through that game, they have money they build up, and they actually buy part of their grade in the course. So how about that?
Wow. They buy a grade, huh?
They buy their own grade. Isn't that fun?
That is very interesting. Super important stuff for students and young people to learn. But I appreciate you for coming on once again. It was good talking to you. And I'll send it back to you at the desk, Evanson.
Thanks, Seth. It's always good to hear from Dr. Evers. And now, the wait is over for everyone wondering about the new Target location in Denton. This past weekend, the store officially opened. Our reporter Paisley McGee stopped by to check it out.
The new Target is officially open, and Denton residents are excited. This new location in Razor Ranch is the second Target in Denton. The first Target is located off of Loop 288. This location gives residents living north of town a closer option for shopping. Denton city officials say this new development highlights the city's growth, bringing new jobs, higher quality shopping, and improvements to the local economy. I'm Paisley McGee for Business as Usual.
Thank you, Paisley. A local smoke shop called Delta 8 Denton is at risk of closing as a result of Senate Bill 3. The bill would completely ban the sale and distribution of all intoxicating cannabis products. Delta 8 Denton owner Hayden Meek has sold mild cannabis products for 4 years. The strong legislative surge could shutter Delta 8 Denton and thousands of similar businesses across Texas. The bill still has to pass through the House. To get some more perspective on another local business, our reporter Chloe Boyder sat down with one of the owners of a local bookstore.
Chloe Boyder with Business as Usual, and today I am here with
Charlie Forster.
at Patchouli Joe's bookstore. How long has the business been open in Denton?
So in Denton, we're just approaching our 4-year mark. So we're about 3.5 years open. Originally, we opened up in Leander, Texas, which was just north of Austin, and we were there for about 1.5 years. With the pandemic and everything, he was able to work from home, and so we loaded up the bookstore, moved it up here, which is always where we wanted to be at.
Has being on the square helped with like foot traffic and sales?
I definitely think so. We're part of Denton Main Street Association as well too, so they always have different events going on the square. So being a part of the square community, it's been definitely an advantage. We are provide different things than a big box store. We're more intimate. We really care about reflecting the community and also being a part of different small business events and such. So we just provide different services than like a Barnes & Noble or like an Amazon as well.
Obviously, tariffs are a big issue right now. Have y'all seen any of that?
A lot of the books are actually printed in China, so book prices are going to increase with it as well too. But a lot of our sidelines as well. We provide like stickers, candles, things of that nature. And so with the tariffs, we are seeing an increase in what we can sell it for and what we're also buying it for.
I know that Independent Bookstore Day is next Saturday, and y'all are doing some big events. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yeah, so we'll have exclusive items like Independent Bookstore Day, Blackwing pencils. We'll have special editions of books as well too. And then we have specials going on throughout the day. So I believe we're going to be doing blind date with a book. So with a $25 purchase, you get a free book. Also, we're going to be hiding eggs throughout the store that'll have different specials in them as well too. So it's a little scavenger hunt. Yeah, I would say supporting local. We're a family-owned business, so the more support for local businesses, the better, in my opinion. Just because we're really connected with the community, we really care about the city of Denton, and so the more support for local, the more reflection of the community gets shown throughout the town as well too.
Good. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Chloe. And that wraps up our show for today and sadly this semester. Thank you to all our viewers and supporters. A special thanks to our cast and crew, Dean Marshall, Anthony Santapedro, Seth Wickman, Chloe Border, Paisley McGee, Mauricio Garcia, and everyone who made this show possible. We'll catch up with you on the latest business news next semester. Be sure to tune in. For now, it's business as usual.